Hello, students. Today is April 14th. That's a Tuesday, 2020, and it is a great day to be a junior Potter. We're back in the saddle with it again here. Hopefully, you had a great spring break. Hopefully, you had it be relaxing in some way, shape, or form, and you're ready to hit the nose to the grindstone. Sporting my new vest today, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to wear it for a while, so might as well put it up on there on the video. But let's dig on into it. Remember some of those things from way back when. We last had a class at the beginning of April. It's now in the middle of April all of a sudden. Remember that attendance form needs to be filled out by 11 a.m. every single day. Mr. Hoffman's going to send that to you in the morning here. Probably already got it by the time you're watching this, possibly. Another thing is that I on Monday, started to go through the Flipgrids, and I've been applying grades to that. Those grades should be in PowerSchool. Make sure that you have done all of that stuff. If you see the missing tag with maybe a 0 next to it, that means it's missing. And if you want that thing to change from a 0 into something that's actually doable, send me your assignment again. Resubmit it. Send me an email saying that you fixed those parts. You can redo assignments during this time, so all you got to do is just redo it, send me an email back. So if you haven't done that stuff, or if you don't like your grade, you can always improve on it. A lot of you did a great job on that first kind of introductory thing there. The Flipgrid was the first grade during this remote learning, so hopefully you're keeping up with things there. So therefore on out throughout this next couple of weeks, unless we get extended again, we are going to continue the grading stuff going on there. It'll be kind of just like we've been doing it, so nothing new will change except it just goes in as points into the grade book there. Also remember that on Wednesdays now, there are no new assignments being pushed out. That is the kind of teacher time to have all of our meetings, to have time to check in with kids and everything. So our Wednesdays, there's not going to be any new stuff being pushed out to you, but still try to be available in case we need to reach you because you haven't been doing stuff possibly, or it's time to check in on that more maybe 1-to-1 or 1-to-5 basis there to see how things are going. So that's going to be happening starting this Wednesday and for the foreseeable Wednesdays until we're done with this process there. That's as far as the new announcements go. Hopefully you're back and ready to do some more stuff here. So let's get into what we're doing this week. What we're doing this week is that we're focusing on the essential stuff that we still have left as far as the 7th grade curriculum is going. And what we have left, we saved till the end, is what is known as ecology, the study of our environment. So what's that going to include is things like the food chain. It's going to include different relationships between organisms. That's called symbiosis. You might have heard of that before. We're also going to look at the different layers of how everything will work. Like with populations and communities, that's what we're going to take a look at this week. So what you're going to do today is that a very important part of the study of ecology is studying the both living and non-living side of everything. So what you're going to do today is you're going to focus on what it means to be alive, which is not meant to be too deep. It's focusing more on the characteristics of what makes something living versus non-living. What makes something more of, what do we consider the things to be alive? What makes, us alive versus something else not alive? That's what we're going to be taking a look at over the course of the next couple of days this week. So without further ado, let's dive into what you're going to be doing for the assignment here. Let me bring it up full screen. On the schedule post, you can see that you're hopefully watching this video to get a rundown of what's happening here. You're going to complete what we're calling the 4-square vocab activity. And it's going to be due tomorrow, 9 a.m. Now, I said no things are going to get pushed out, but that doesn't mean things aren't still going to be due. So make sure you finish this today for tomorrow. Or you ask questions and then you can wrap things up tomorrow. So this is going to be kind of like what we're considering to be almost like a pre-quiz format, because it's going to ask a lot about your opinions on what it means to be something that's alive versus not alive. So it's going to be more based off of what you think versus me telling you what it means to be alive. That's going to come Thursday when we look at the notes of going over this stuff. So today's is more of getting your opinion on the matter, and I'm going to kind of hopefully summarize that stuff up on Wednesday, and then for Thursday video, look at some of the things that you came up with versus what our actual characteristics are. So we're going to kind of use it in that kind of format, hopefully. So what that activity actually portrays is that you're going to have this setup here, and it's going to have the 4 squares. Get it? Because it's got the 4 little squares there. For this activity, you're going to be completing each one of the boxes dealing with the word life and living. As we explore the world of ecology, we'll be looking at the world in the living versus non-living realm. So that's kind of important going on there. Remember to fill in the highlighted dashes below where you need to answer the questions. You can leave them as the green highlights. You only have to remove the middle dash. That makes it a lot easier when I go through these. I'm trained to go to the green areas or whatever the highlighted colored areas are. So you can keep them green. You don't have to like erase everything so that it doesn't show up green. Keep them green. It makes it a lot easier for me to track things as we go through. Once you're finished, remember to hit the turn in button on the assignment. Some of you didn't do that on the flip grids there. So make sure that you go and click on that turn in once you're all completed. And for this one, you do not have to write in complete sentences, just a complete thought. So you can just give me what you have there. And we're going to look at each one of the 4 boxes here real quick. First one, you're going to give me 2 definitions. You're going to give me what your definition of life is. Whatever pops into your head. What does it mean to be alive? What does it mean to have life? The second one is look up a formal definition using like Google or a dictionary, encyclopedia reference, whatever. Look up the word for life/living, see what they have to say. On the middle box, or not the middle box, the top, I guess it would be the top right box. It has characteristics in there. You got to name 3 characteristics, 3 things that you think make something alive. So if you had a little checkbox list of what is something that you have to have in order to be alive, that's what we're looking at for the characteristics. So if you think that is, I'm going to do something weird, having, hair. If you think having hair is something that makes you alive, you would write down hair in one of the boxes. Obviously, it's not hair because not all living things have hair. So I had to come up with something to show you an example of it. But you're going to come up with whatever your 3 examples are going to be. Remember, it's your examples. You're not looking anything up for this part. I want to see what you come up with for this. So you can just say what 3 things you think. It could have to be with things that we've already talked about this year. So keep that in mind as we've gone through things. We've mentioned certain aspects of animals and plants that they all seem to have. Those might be things that would be common characteristics that they would all have. And then at the bottom 2 squares, you're going to give me examples of living things, things that are living, and 3 things that are non-living. And I'm going to compile a list of seeing what things you put up there, and we can look at the living versus non-living list to see what things kind of come to a head there. And that is what you're doing for science today in classes. We get used to this remote learning. Remember, as always, if you have any questions whatsoever, do not hesitate to send me a email or try to get in contact with me whatever way possible there so I can help you out. Sorry that I didn't post anything during break. I said that I was going to, but quite frankly, as soon as the time hit on Friday, I kind of just closed the computer and didn't open it back up until Monday for the most part. So hopefully you had a nice relaxing spring break. Everything went well for you. And always remember that it is a great day to be a junior Potter.